Have you ever planted a big garden, watered it every day, and watched it shrivel up anyway? You buy the seeds, you follow the directions, you check for bugs. Still, your tomatoes get blight, your lettuce bolts, and your cucumbers just disappear overnight. It feels like the earth itself is not on your side. You are not alone. This happens to so many gardeners in Zone 9A, especially here in the Gulf South. The soil warms early, the sun shines bright, and everything should be perfect. But then, the heat turns up, the air gets sticky, and suddenly, your plants are struggling. It's not because you're a bad gardener or you did something wrong. It's not because your soil isn't good enough. The truth is, our climate here is just different. It changes the rules for every plant you put in the ground. If you've lost crops before, don't give up. Let's talk about why good gardens fail here, and what you can do to turn things around. Most gardening books and seed packets were written for cooler, drier places. They say, plant after the last frost, or give plenty of sun. That works in some states, but in Zone 9A, that advice can spell disaster. Our last frost comes early, and then the heat rolls in hard. Humidity is another sneaky problem. It hangs in the air, making leaves stay wet. Wet leaves mean fungus, mildew, and all sorts of plant diseases. Pests love this weather too. Bugs you've never heard of will come out and eat your seedlings overnight. Classic advice also says to plant things close together for a big harvest. Here, that just creates a jungle for insects and diseases. The tighter your plants, the less they can breathe, and the faster disease spreads. If you want a thriving garden, you have to throw out some old rules. Let's talk about crops that struggle the most, and what you can do instead. Tomatoes are the dream of every gardener. Big, juicy, red fruit. But in Zone 9A, tomatoes can break your heart. The summer heat climbs fast. Sometimes by late May, it's already too hot. Tomatoes stop setting fruit above 85 degrees during the day and 70 degrees at night. On top of that, humidity brings blight and wilt. You might see leaves turning yellow or brown spots marching up the stem. Sometimes the whole plant collapses overnight. This is not your fault. The heat and humidity just overload the plant's defenses. Here's the fix. Plant your tomatoes early, really early. Start seeds inside in January or buy starts in February. Get them in the ground as soon as you can protect them from the last chill. Give them lots of airflow by spacing them out and pruning extra leaves. Mulch to keep the soil cool. If you can, use afternoon shade to take the edge off. For varieties, try Heatmaster, Solar Fire, or Florida 91. These are bred for heat and disease resistance. Cherry tomatoes like Sun Gold and Juliet also handle Gulf South weather better than big slicers. Cucumbers love warm soil, but not the sticky baking heat of a Zone 9 summer. Once the nights stay warm, cucumbers can get bitter and stop growing. Downy mildew, powdery mildew, and cucumber beetles show up fast, especially when the air is thick with humidity. You might notice leaves with white patches, or vines that wilt in the middle of the day and never recover. Sometimes tiny beetles bore into the stems. If you wait until April or May to plant, you're already late. The fix is simple. Plant cucumbers as soon as the soil is warm in early spring, late February to early March. Give them something to climb for better airflow, like a trellis or fence. Space plants at least 18 inches apart. Water at the base, not on the leaves, to keep them dry. Harvest young and often before the heat gets them. Diva and Marketmore 76 are good choices. For disease resistance, try Salad Bush or the hybrid Dasher 2. If you lose your first round, try again in late summer for a fall crop. Lettuce is tricky in Zone 9A. Most kinds like it cool, below 75 degrees. As soon as the days get warm, lettuce will bolt, sending up a flower stalk and turning bitter. Humid nights make it even worse, bringing rot and mildew. You may see your lettuce stretch tall overnight, or the edges of the leaves start to melt away. It's discouraging to watch a whole bed turn bitter just as it starts to look good. So, what's the fix? Timing, shade, and the right varieties. Plant lettuce as soon as you can work the soil, in January or early February. Grow it under a shade cloth or next to taller crops that shield it from the afternoon sun. Water in the morning so the leaves dry out by nightfall. Choose heat-tolerant varieties like Buttercrunch, Salad Bowl, or Jericho. For baby greens, try red sails or Paris Island cause. Harvest leaves often, and don't be afraid to pull plants early and replant. Squash and peppers both want warm weather, but not the relentless heat, bugs, and humidity of Zone 9A. Squash vine borers, squash bugs, and powdery mildew make quick work of even the healthiest plants. Peppers can get blossom drop when nights stay too warm, and leaf spots from so much moisture. You might find squash plants wilting suddenly, or see silvery streaks on the leaves. Peppers can sit and do nothing for weeks, then drop flowers before fruit forms. It feels like a waiting game you just can't win. But here's what works. For squash, plant as soon as soil is warm, and cover young plants with row cover to block bugs. Space them out for airflow, and check daily for eggs or damage. Remove old plants as soon as they show signs of decline. For peppers, plant in late spring, but start seeds indoors in February. Look for disease-resistant varieties and mulch to keep roots cool. Try Tromboncino or Tatum for squash. They're more resistant to borers. For peppers, Cajun Bell and Corno di Toro do well even in Gulf South heat. When summer really hits, even the best lettuce and spinach will melt away. That's where Malabar spinach shines. It's not a true spinach, but it grows like a dream in the Gulf South. Malabar loves heat and humidity. The more it gets, the faster it grows. Malabar spinach climbs like a vine. Its thick, glossy leaves taste mild and slightly peppery. You can eat them fresh in salads or cook them in stir-fries. It doesn't bolt, and pests rarely bother it. The more you pick, the more it grows back. Start Malabar spinach from seed after the last frost, or buy a small plant. Give it a trellis or fence to climb. It will cover an arch or fence by mid-summer, giving you shade, food, and beauty all at once. If you're tired of wilted greens, give Malabar spinach a try. It just might become your favorite summer green. The big lesson in Zone 9, gardening? Our climate changes everything. Heat, humidity, and bugs are just part of life here. You can't ignore them, but you can work with them. The real trick is to adapt. Change your timing, your plant choices, and your setup. Airflow is your best friend. Give plants room to breathe. Shade helps too, especially in the afternoon. Mulch keeps roots cool, and watering early lets leaves dry out. Disease and bugs will happen, but with the right varieties and a watchful eye, you can keep ahead of them. Most of all, don't get discouraged. Every failed plant is just a lesson for next time. Gardening is about learning and growing, season by season, year by year. You can have a beautiful, productive garden in Zone 9A. Keep trying, keep adapting, and remember, you're not alone. We're all learning together, one plant at a time. If you like these videos, please help us grow. Like and subscribe. Happy gardening!